Hello, welcome to the program, The Guest on Oweleketv. My name is Evikan Michael. Today, we'll be focusing on the challenges and prospects of film production in Nigeria's Nollywood. And of course, you're aware, films are veritable tools that should be deployed rightly to promote societal values and morals, and as well used to spread the message of peace, patriotism, discipline, and tolerance in nation building. I'm being joined today on the show by one of Nollywood's foremost actors, Francis Duru, who became more prominent in the Nigerian movie industry in 1994 after featuring in an action comedy movie titled Rattlesnake. He has received nominations and won several laurels as a thespian, including receiving the United Nations Ambassador of Peace Award for his positive influence on the youth. He won the Best Actor in a Leading Role Award in 2020, Best of Nollywood Awards for his role in Maputa, among others. Some of the films he featured include Will of God, Without Apology, Blood Money, Clash of Interest, Forces of Nature, My Girlfriend, My Little Secret, and Personal Assignment, among others. Good to have you, Mr. Francis Duru, join us on the show.
My pleasure. A pleasure.
It's quite been a long time we've seen you on the screen, and of course, many people will be saying, "Have you gone back to Cameroon?" Just like the boy said, he has gone back to Duru. What can you say about that?
Well, that's a funny falsehood. Well, I said that's a funny falsehood. We have the tendency of generalizing the wrong things, wrong information. Because December, I just finished a movie, and not up to 1 month, Blood Vessel is out. I featured in it. So whoever is saying that, whoever is getting that information is actually wrong.
You produced?
It's not a matter of producing. You saw, as an actor, I was in Blood Vessel. And I know we're just in the month of December alone, I've done nothing less than 4 movies. You know, so it's always good for us to get our acts right. You know, it's a time.
So you're actively still involved?
And there was never a time I left first and foremost.
Wow.
So that impression should be corrected, you know. I've never dropped, you know, the tool. I've been there still, you know. I'm preparing for another movie. I'm being on stage. I'm being on television. But just that people don't watch from African Magic and all that stuff, although it does not mean that you don't see the person. The industry has expanded. There are multiple, you know, streams now of showing your movie. Eagle Wings was on. So many on Netflix and all that stuff. So I wonder where they're getting that information from.
All right. You know, it tried to bring to board where people said, oh, some people said that Francis Duru, we've not seen. Of course, we understand the new generations who just are basing their comments might just be on Netflix and all of those new digital platforms. But I quite understand that you may have a stake in it.
But even at that, you don't generalize when you don't have facts.
Right.
Because when you begin to generalize, you send the wrong information, and by the time you know it, everybody picks it and runs. We are in a world where the wrong trends actually get popularity, and by the time you know it,
quite understood that you're so very much involved. And now let's look at the film preservations. Prior to this time, you know, there were a lot of when the outbreak of digitalization came into Nollywood. Of course, it erupted from the CD productions and of course to digital production. And of course, some people said, "Oh, a lot of CDs were lost money, you know, were lost in the market and all of that." We still need these movies because, as we all know, the stories behind the screen then was something quite very much rich. Of course, the generation today lacks the knowledge of what, you know, our society was like. So what can you say about the film preservations?
Another wrong information. That Netflix African Prime is out there does not mean the other ways films have been done stopped. In fact, the information is that those films you see on Netflix, you know, they control just not up to 10% of the volumes of films that are being produced each day. It has not stopped Asaba. It has not stopped Oka. It has not stopped even the volumes of films being done in way back. There's a community after Lokoja. What's this place? You know, that they don't even do normal films. The CDs are still selling. Those people are. Let me give you a typical. The elite go to watch movies in cinemas. The average Okada man, the average woman in the market, where do you think he goes to watch the movie? Yet he's so much abreast with all the movies happening. So that's part of what we're saying, when we don't have the right information about some of these things, we should stop postulating them so that we don't send the wrong image about them. It will take close to like 10 years before the 80% of people who still, watch CDs and all that, or even download, you have not taken them away.
So the market is still moving. Is that what you are basing?
I'm not basing, but there's a fact that you should have even found out because you did not get that fact. You go to Onitsha, they are still producing CDs. You go to Oka, people are still buying CDs. Those people, they don't even know about your Netflix. And be very careful. Those who, when they watch your Netflix movies, it does not connect to them. Those stories, you go to Aba, go to Were, even in Abuja where films are still being shot, where do they sell them? If you are talking about even YouTube, then here we would have been talking about, these are other streams of income. They also watch there. So these things are there. Listen, at every point in time, how do I place it? The people who go to Mr. Biggs or all those big things does not stop the people who go to Mama Put. Do they?
No.
Do they? No. The people who go to buy stuff in the supermarket and all that stuff does not still stop the man who goes to the provision store to buy. So would you say because supermarkets are everywhere you mention them, big types everywhere coming out, it has stopped the people who normally patronize provision store? No. It's the same thing with every consumer product. The movies are also consumer products. So it finds its market. Just that for purposes of worldview, where you want to like a bankable project, that's where you find Netflix and all that. So, and they belong to the elite class.
All right. My assessment wasn't at the point of ignorance. You see, we needed to understand.
No, not ignorance.
Yeah.
What I'm saying that it's not the word is not ignorance. I think we are quick to jump into conclusion on these basics.
No, the basics was to get your response on this.
Yes.
Now, my question was to get your feedback. Yes. This is what people are saying. And it just may be a little number of people, according to you, that are actually having this postulation. And now, so your response has further given, as educated the audience that are watching, that this is still software that is existent. Mind you, changes came. And people want to know the assessment of what change has done to the system. So, having you right now is to address some of those things that people may just sit down at their own, on their social media handles to tweet and all of that. That's the purpose of this conversation.
And that's why I said, thank God you use the word educating. That's why I say we need to engage continuously. See, part of what we are talking about social media, it's like a brand new razor blade. You use it well, it gives you a clean cut, a clean shave. You use it wrongly, it cuts deep. And when it cuts deep, you bleed. So those of us from this end should be very, very careful with the way we manage information. Because the wrong information you send, it creates a damage ahead. And by the time you want to do the damage control, collateral damage. So for us, I think all of us, even me inclusive in the media, we should always try to make sure we guide those things. When you talk about social media, people tweeting, part of all the things they tweet, are they correct? No. So it's an 80-20 or 70-30, dimension. Sometimes 30 is wrong and spreads to like cancel the 70 that people are. That's why I'm telling you that in the things about movie making, check budgeting. Netflix movies, how much do they go up? Hundreds of millions. But somebody is shooting a movie in Asaba with just 1.5, with just 2 million, with just 3 million. Where does he do his stuff? You see skit makers now coming to do their stuff, So those are the dimensions, those are the change, But that change has still not taken away the core consumer. The core consumer, who happens to be the Okada man, the taxi driver, the woman who sells, You have not taken anything. Yeah, you have not taken anything from her. Because she still watches the things she watches. Until she no longer can take care of it. Those was it not VHS. After VHS, DVD. After VHS, CD, DVD. But there are people who still have their small CD plate, They are still churning it in an electronic shop. They go there to buy it. There are some people who say have that old. I went to somebody's house. The man has all the old VHS tapes of some of my movies. Then sometimes when he's bored, he plays it, and it's still the same.
I understand the feelings because I can actually relate to
it's a hybrid of all, because our society is cut across from the low, the medium, and all that. Also, commodities relate to these people.
Okay, we'll still get to deep talks on that. Now, let's look at the international collaborations. Quite frankly, you have acknowledged the fact that Netflix, coming in, with a big budget, to the industry, getting some of our productions, out there to the international scenes and all of that. And of course, when you also understand that, as according to you, because this is the purpose of this competition, is to get to our audience to know that, Nollywood, what they may call the old Nollywood or the new Nollywood or whatever they're trying to call, are still in existence. And of course, the reason is because people are missing.
You just touched the tail of the tiger there now. There is no such thing like, new Nollywood. Every system evolves. I'm proud to say I'm a pioneer member of Nollywood. I know how we started. Rattlesnake was my third movie. But I know how the industry started, and I know how it has evolved. Would you now say because a thing started under in new dimensions, then you say it's old? That word old is obscene. It means out of use. It's, it means outdated and all that stuff.
So it's still in the context of use.
So let's look at, the personnel. I'm an actor, right?
You can say
like
that.
I told you, we just finished Blood Vessel. Am I outdated?
No.
Am I obsolete? I can still give you information about yesterday, talk about today, and give you a projection into tomorrow. Do I look obsolete? So those are some of the generic terms we use, and we define things wrongly. And the thing about definition is simply this. What you define, what you do not know, you cannot define. But if you can define it, you can modify it. So part of the thing we need to let people are quick to come with their own small cluster perspectives on things, both of what they think and what they have seen. But we should make people to also understand that it's quite expansive, which is what we are doing here.
All right, we're trying to talk on the assessment on international cooperation.
Yes,
so what is assessment so far?
No, you see, let me tell you the truth. A country with our population and with an active youth, involvement in socio-cultural things, perspectives and imperatives, it does not need to advertise itself. It's a market. Why are they coming? Don't forget, Nigeria has colonized Africa, colonized the world.
Nigeria.
Yes. In Dallas, Texas, what was the music they used in crossing over? It was a Nigerian song. In Dallas, Texas. You see awards now and all that stuff, I'm just tripping to the music scene. But it's all related. That tells you how the creative industry space in Nigeria has become. It used to be a cash cow that is lying fallow. But now it is a beautiful bride that everybody is trying to identify with because of the market, because of the control over Africa, even in the black world. You go to Trinidad and Tobago, you go to Jamaica, all that stuff, Our movies are like a menu on their menu card. You go somewhere, Kenya, Gambia, all of these people, they identify with the ones as a Nigerian. They use the Nigerian language, Igwe, use all those Yorubas. I just came back from Ethiopia not too long. And I remember I saw one Ethiopian man who was trying in every aspect to speak. Now he said, no, he understands every Nigerian language. He spoke. That is what the industry has done. That tells you how impactful. And so it's like you put a peacock on a hill. The world must see it. They'll be attracted to that peacock. And that's exactly what's happening. So we have what it takes, a large market. A Netflix, you know what it means for Netflix to even say they have a 50 million distribution channel. You know what that means? It's a big stuff in Africa. And don't forget, we have this magnetic spirit that we pull other African countries to what we are doing. So we become the role model and the billboard of excellence that they want to copy. But we are the original. So when they want to copy everywhere, they copy the right cut, which is Nigeria.
So the international collaboration is a welcome development?
It's not just a welcome development. It's something that should have been long before this time. They were myopic not to have seen this.
Okay. What means would have they collaborated then?
The same thing they are doing. Why did they not see this long before this time? But the multi-choice people saw it, and they came, they planted in Nigeria and built gradually and expanded. You can see what they have done to even our movies today, because anyhow you want to look at it, give them credit. Multi-choice, that coming into Nigeria actually changed the space, and they started adding gloss, coloration to it. It now became a bride that everybody can see, the world can see. Let us begin to come in.
All right, so of course I'm still having Francis Duru in the conversation today, of course, in the issues regarding Nollywood, the prospect, the challenges, and the future of Nollywood, because of course we need to see what are those things behind, the cameras that you get to watch, and what are the future looking like with Nollywood in Nigeria. We'll go on a short break right now. Once we return, we'll still have more short conversations to go on. Don't go away. Welcome back. We're still on the program, The Guest, and of course, I'm still having Francis Duru, a veteran of Nollywood, who of course joining us on the conversations today regarding the challenges and the prospect of a Nollywood of Nigeria. Now, let's look at audience preferences. 2020, something happened in Nigeria, the NSAS protests. People, so many political developments, so many things have actually happened. And the preferences of some audience quite understand. You've established the fact that, those people at those rural areas are getting more interested, of course, with what you're producing. But it seems they're more concerned on what, some productions should be, like the audience test. Kind of. That's some analysis where you get to see, like the NSAS protests, nothing has actually been produced behind that kind of story. So many political kind of events. Don't you see that producers should begin to swing into that?
Let me put it this way. Movie making is not for charity. Somebody pays the bills. Somebody brings out his money and puts it in there. It's a business. It's a showbiz. It's a business. And in business, you don't get emotional, So it's unfortunate that what you are talking about is what government is supposed to be doing. Those days in South Africa, most of the plays you saw during the apartheid were more or less they call agitprops, agitational propaganda. And agitprops were used even on stage. You use agitational propaganda. There's some American movies you watch. Yeah. When you watch them, they infuse love for the nation of America into the movies. That's all you need to do to help the investor. You get the point. So it is not the movie maker, unless the movie maker wants to create a market around that. And so he goes out there to create a market, create something that people can buy. But it is not his business. His job is, I want to do my movie, I want to make my money. If government sees it as a means of expanding the frontiers of the heritage, the dignity, it's a plus. After all, the movie maker is already adding value to government. You are not giving the person money. You don't have a bank that you say you're giving the person a loan, single digit, with almost like, say, pay in the next 10 years. Tax waivers and all that. So why would the person be going, if he wants to do NSAS because he has seen a market. So for every movie you do now, there's a marketing force behind it. But the good thing about Nigerians now, Nigerian movies, especially the things from that Netflix upwards, so people finish before they start. The producer has seen the market. He knows what and what will sell. And that's why you see sometimes there's a repetitive thematic background. So you see, movies that have to do with ghetto, gang wars, all that stuff, they tend to pay because they are feeding the fantasies of the particular audience. Now, you use the word rural areas. Mark, that's not what I meant. Not rural areas. We are talking about class stratification, the elite.
Okay.
There are people who go, those people who do Netflix and those stuff, you know, they don't go to buy CDs. They have very different different streaming, you know. Watch out. The movies that come within that space have their own particular identity. They speak to the desires, the fantasies of the elite. Then the people down there, they are even in town. With due respect to people living in Maraba, Nyanya, some, that's 85%, and all those a little bit semi-urban areas. Yeah. They have their philosophy, they have their lifestyle. Only few who are very, very educated and still belong to that elitist can cut across doing Netflix and all that. That is why multi-choice will give you the Go TV and put the Go TV at a particular price that to suit them, to also make them identify with some of those things. So you get the point I'm making. So those are, it's not rural, it's about the people. There are people in the village, you know, in my house in the village, I also subscribe to DSTV. So I pay because they watch the same UEFA Championship you watch. They watch it. They have different channels. Yeah. But all they do is they always go to African Magic Epic and African Magic Igbo. So that is a market for them. So those who have identified with that market as their focal point are in business till today. They are still shooting, they are still filming. That you're doing on Netflix has not changed them. It has not changed their market. Go and do your Netflix within here. They make their money and they are also making your money. When I come back home, I want to watch Urban and all that stuff. They tell me, say, I've gone in here. They say they are speaking too much English. The language does not connect to them. So you see that, and that's the edge we have. We are a hybrid. We have movies for everybody. You know. So what was this is your last question now? The last question you asked.
No, it was about assessment towards rural movies productions and all that.
Yes, so we are doing well, perfectly well. We are feeding every market to the point now that even let me tell you, there are local actors now who have become so big by just this skit.
That's another audience.
Yes, especially in Igbo land now. There are guys, you know, I watch their skits, I laugh myself out. I forget that I'm an actor. And let me tell you something. Sometimes when they do what they do, because my memory bank as an actor is always open, I unconsciously soak it. And it gives me idea to build another character. So you see, they may not be within the mainstream of that which is bankable, but they are actually providing entertainment for us. So our market is hybrid.
All right. Very, very fantastic response to that. You've been the president of an association of the acting community. I think Nigerian
Actors Guild. I was a former chairman, Actors Guild, and also coordinator, Directors Guild of Nigeria.
Fantastic. It seems more the tribalism and ethnicity, will I say, have set into the industry.
That's a wrong statement. If I may, I know you are the person doing the interview. If I were to ask you, why would you say so?
Film producers, current top producers, are more of Yorubas.
Yes.
There are also verdict people coming in to say, Igbos are the one that brought Nollywood. Haven't you seen that kind of argument?
It's total rubbish.
Yorubas are saying you are the one that brought Nollywood.
Listen to me. I have been in entertainment in close to 34 years. And when I hear some of these things, I laugh. You see, your cluster, your clout, your platform defines how far you go. And I'm one person who will actually kick against that statement. What about the Yorubas? The Igbos, we control the industry. I will not say I'm not an Igbo. When we had those controls, did we ever think of how to expand it? Businesses foreseeing what is happening, you know. So would you blame the Yoruba man because he's making good use of his opportunity? What else is he doing that? Who is stopping the Igbo man? Let me shock you. Are you also aware that some Igbos are also part and parcel of the people who sponsor these Yoruba movies? At that point, they don't see ethnicity. at that point when they see business, prospects, and potentials. But why would you even say that? Chance of play. He didn't watch a snake, he didn't live in bondage, he didn't know, he just did blood vessel, and he has other people. Is he Yoruba? So it's a matter of choice. You have your money as an Igbo man. If you like what they are doing, do it your own. After all, how did the Nollywood thing start? If Kenneth Nebwe had not taken the decision he took in doing living in bondage, don't forget, ask yourself, where was Kenneth Nebwe? He was providing VHS tapes to the Yoruba film. So would you now say it was only Yoruba when the person who is supplying and not? No, come on. We see the truth about this country. We should actually begin to change our paradigms in the way we think. This ethnicity thing is getting so bad that it makes us define things probably. So the room is open for anyone it's expansive. There are so many people who have done jobs. What the Yorubas have done, is the ability for them to use their culture and bring it to the fore and sell it to the world. The metaphysical world, the mythic element, the tradition, the culture, the heritage. It was somebody who did the election Oba, written by Wole Soyinka. How many Igbos have done Chino Achebe's Arrow of God? Who is stopping them? So nobody is stopping you. I totally refuse to listen to me. I am a pure, thoroughbred artist, no boundaries. You come in for Yoruba movies, I go. You come in for Igbo movies, I go.
What it ought to be.
If I feel there's an aspect of my culture that I need to push outside in business, it is my job to do it. And let's not paint that thing. No.
It must be corrected.
You see, you don't begrudge a man for projecting what he feels,
Fantastic.
Or what they say, you put your money where your mouth is, or however they put it. So those things are, I'm Igbo. Unless I have a thorough knowledge of Yoruba that I can do that. So maybe, Igbos who are doing Yoruba movies, you just watch the tribe,
Tribe of Judah.
The tribe of Judah. Is it Yoruba? Is it a Yoruba movie? Yet it has every group of people in it. It has got 1 billion. That a Yoruba person did
producer,
does not mean that it's a Yoruba thing. So we all have the right to choose.
There might also be an exchange of acknowledging where Nollywood birthed from. I think that part might also be considered.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm running a doctorate degree in development communication. I chose why. I know why I did not go to theater as well.
Because that's where you had your first degree.
Yes, and my second degree, or my second degree in development communication. Listen to me. I have been there. I understand the academics and all that stuff. These are mere banter. Just like between you saying Arsenal is better than Chelsea, and me saying Chelsea is better than
the generations. If they're not well briefed, may not know. They may
there's nothing about it. Let me tell you about it. Just between you say Messi is the best, Ronaldo is the best. Let me tell you the truth. Your realities define your perspective.
You've said that,
Abi. Your realities define your perspective. If somebody came from the time of Hubert Ogunde and begins to tell you that that's where the industry, but what you call the phenomenon called Nollywood started, the catalyst that created it. The question you ask yourself, who gave the industry the name Nollywood? It was a stranger. But that experience, that enterprise that came when Kenneth Nebwe now got this to produce Living in Bondage, is a time in the Nollywood industry you can never, ever, ever toy with. After that period, who are the people who champion the industry today? They are Igbos. So if I'm running my own perspective, which I even shared here earlier, because the Igbos, the marketers, Olu Jacobs, my father and uncle, one of Nigeria's greatest, stayed in the East for so long, playing Igwe. Is it Igbo? No. We know how many artists who came, who were the producers? The Igbos. So if I were to run my own perspective, that's good. And it was That phenomenon that makes somebody to give the industry the name Nollywood. So if I were to talk about how Nollywood started, would I be talking about the time of Fulbert Ogunde? Yeah, I've been in sessions in panels and I argued, I said it's totally wrong. Let us be relative to scope and time. You get the point? Ask those people who named the industry Nollywood. And why? It was a phenomenon that greeted the whole world that time, everything. I know the calls I had after being just little village movies. You know what changed the people? The lush green environment, the chicken, the goats playing around and all that. And they were asking, are they real? Because they could identify with people. I travel outside. These are the things that, so you cannot take it away. So whoever came up, other changes, dynamics, now paid off from what this thing had already established.
Right. So it might be concluded to be a seasonal thing. It's not about.
It's not seasonal. About perspective. There's no competition about it. But give the man, the people who actually created this phenomenon to where we give them their flowers.
All right. Let's take this last question before we bring this program to an end. Now let's take a look at actors being models in the society. You quite understand that they were grazing as queen, and sometimes people get to watch their lives and they want to emulate a lot of things that they do. From your assessment, and of course, recently you've spent about 20 years of marriage. Of course, you have a kid, you have a wife. Actors, stars, Nollywood veterans are seen to be models to the society, just quite very frankly, because from the screen, you can be able to, some people want to emulate the life of this and all of that. But recently, I don't know if of course of witness, you are aware, marriages of some actors, quite very frankly, seems to be not leading Nigerians to that right direction. Controversy about the maker, controversy about Yudedochi and all of this. What is your take and assessment to this? I understand that it might just be quite personal.
Can I ask you a question? Can you name yours within say 10 seconds, 10 Nollywood marriages that have gone decrepit, that they have gone?
Okay, the two quite in front of us.
Listen, I said 10 in 10 minutes. You know why you can't? Because you don't have to. The question I always ask people, that I am an actor does not make me a superhuman being. That I am an actor doesn't mean that what runs in my blood is not red blood corpuscle. That I am an actor does not mean that I have 3 kids right now. I have 3 kids. My kids are all grown. You don't know the challenges I went through before coming here. But I come here and I smile with you, and you get me provoked out there, and I talk to you, I say, not be this actor, don't you know that's stupidity, it doesn't make sense. The most important thing we must understand is that we are humans first before anything we became. And let's look at that human point of view. What happened to I don't want to mention them, the 2 names you mentioned, because these are people I respect so much and are my colleagues. What happened to them happens to even the best banker. What happened to them happened to even the best Have you not heard about pastors who have had a minimum? Why are you people not talking about it? Have you not heard about bank managers who got killed or who killed their wives and all that? So why are we not talking about it? Listen, the actor, the artist needs to be respected for putting himself out there on the line. You're changing lives, you're touching lives, you are a model, but once in a while, just like our soldiers today, before we condemn them, let us ask ourselves deeply, what is their take home? What happens to them when they are out there in the fields going through landmines and they have children, they have a wife on Christmas Day? That deviation is very necessary. On Christmas Day, they are out there, some dodging bullets, in the midst of what they don't know what is happening to their family. Maybe one gets a call that the child started having convulsion, or they just rushed the wife, and they still go ahead for the love of nation. It's the same thing that is likened to every artist anywhere. You go out of your way to play roles that make the society even mock you, the society even in the hospital, something beyond, but that is a call. So please, the day you hear that somebody has a problem, a matrimonial problem, pray for that person, then castigate the person. After all, is an actor, not that stupid.
Actors are also humans. I think that
it's not. You should not realize it now. If I go to media, pick every profession, but see, the hood does not make the monk. That I'm wearing a Reverend Father's cloth does not make me a Reverend Father. But that I'm an actor does not mean I don't feel pains. Does not mean I don't go through stuff. Does not mean that, once in a while, ask yourself, how do these people live? This is me here. I chose to live. I was supposed to drive down. I looked at the time. I said, if I drive, I just took a boat to come here to do this, right? Now, you don't know what I was doing. You don't even know whether I'm feeling fine come here. But Labista told me, I beg. So I did this for love of a colleague. If you were to come in for this, I wouldn't have come, right?
Yeah.
I'll simply tell you I'm busy, right? We're supposed to have had this thing last week, Abi. But it's sacrifice that has made me come here. By the time you put this content out, somebody is touched, somebody is educated, isn't it? Does that person remember whether I had a problem or not? We are humans. The thing that makes it takes flesh and blood to be human. But the missing part is conscience. And look at human conscience first before you do anything. Whether your place of work, that person you're tearing, you're messing, you're using wrong words, on the person or the house girl, understand that that person first and foremost is a human being. And what every human being needs is respect. Mutual respect is deep.
I must quite commend Francis Duru for a wonderful, of course, deep responses to the conversations today on the guests. Of course, the accent is to put to records, some controversies, and of course, to also get his view as a veteran who has been in the industry for quite a number of years. That's how much we're taking on today's episode on the guest on Oweleketv. I remain your host, Michael. Keep watching.